Hmm. Ah,
Morning.
good
Hi.
morning.
Um, Sorry I'm a little late. I was using the wrong link from the email and it was sending me through AI and I didn't really realize it. And I was trying to figure it out. And then I realized, oh, I got the wrong link.
Oh, how did that happen?
I used, you have like two different, one of them was like an AI chat on your email, which I never used, but I accidentally used it today thinking it was the same one that I always used, which is this one. But
Yeah,
anyways, I finally figured it out. So,
I'm
and it,
sorry.
no, you didn't do anything. I was just, I, s- I don't know how I mixed it up because I've only done this like 100 times or more. And,
Well, yes.
so how's everything? Is Bill not here today?
Nope. No, you get a private lesson today.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me increase this. So are we recording?
We are.
Okay.
I will, however, add a parenthesis here. Unfortunately, I don't quite know what's going on, but apparently Google has taken over sign-ins to YouTube,
Ah,
and they are not. Google is not recognizing either of my YouTube accounts or Google account, and
hmm.
so I can't I can't get to YouTube Studio to upload the video. So I have I have my computer guy coming to see if he can help me sort this
Right.
out. I, I'm just confused. I don't know what to do.
I'm confused just listening to it, so I can imagine how confused you must be.
I have I have spent too much time on it already.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can figure it out pretty quickly. But I mean, in the meantime, you were able to save the videos to
I'm
upload.
yeah, I'm saving the videos. I have those. and when I can post them to you, I will, one way or another. I'll
Yep. Okay. I'm sure it'll get worked out then once your computer guy takes a look at it.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Google
pretty.
just makes everything. They add extra steps in there, and they're all confusing. I deal with them all the time, and it's just
I
you
know.
know ridiculous.
I'm finding Google to be a pain in the ass for the most part.
Yeah, completely. I
I
try and
mean,
avoid it as much as possible. That's why I have a Google account, like a Gmail account. It's just a backup account. I never use it for anything. It's just too confusing, too convoluted. It requires all kinds of sign-ins and connections to this thing and that thing. It's just ridiculous.
yeah. Well, I finally just clicked on set up a new account because I thought I would just start all over and set up a new account.
Right.
And it will not let me set up any kind of account except a Gmail account.
Yeah.
And I don't want it.
No. I've had that. I've had a Gmail address for years, and I avoid it at all costs. I don't
Yeah.
use it for anything. I use my Yahoo account. I've used my Yahoo account for decades now,
Yeah.
and it's fine. It's fine. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Well,
So,
how are things there? Are you feeling better?
um, I'm under control now. Was still doing tests to figure out what the heck is going on with my GI system.
Oh.
I had a CT scan yesterday, and then in early September, I've got an endoscopy scheduled. But in the meantime, I went through a whole protocol with antibiotics and all. They helped a lot. I'm under control. I'm on a couple of meds, but at least I'm doing pretty good.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
I'm very mindful what I eat, how I eat, and I take a couple of certain meds that prevent big flare-ups, and I'm okay for now as we try and figure out the underlying cause for all of this. So that's about the best I can do for now.
Yeah. What a pain in the ass, literally.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, onward and upward.
Okay.
Okay.
And also Jesse and Kate are back from Australia now. They got back Thursday evening. So
Already?
they are back. Yeah, Jesse starts school on the 11th. And
Oh, wow.
I just finally got him back onto normal East Coast sleeping patterns after 5 days. So it's been a task. And Kate is still not quite back. Her sleep is still off. So it takes a while, I guess, from Australia because they had a stopover in California, so they had that time change, and then they stayed there for a day and then came here. So they've had like two time changes in their journey back.
Uh,
So but otherwise, they're fine. They're good.
oh, good. Good.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, how are you with opening and closing?
I'm working on it still. It's obviously going to take a very long time for me to really feel second nature about it. I'm trying to work on it, but I'm also trying to do some work with the opening and with the ribs, the movement of the ribs.
Yep.
That I'm not doing so well with. And I wanted to ask you, I thought I was relatively clear when you were talking about front, back, and sides move differently when they do move. I know it's a very small, tiny amounts, but they move in different directions. And I could really use some re-clarification about that because I think I've lost that. And so in trying to think about that when I'm practicing, I'm not doing a very good job of it.
Yeah. It's once you get it started, I mean, the whole rib cage moves together, and
Mhm.
you don't have to worry so much about the individual pieces. But when you're beginning and learning about it, you have to be aware of it in order to make sure that your ribs are actually moving in the right directions.
Right.
So the easy part was the sides, which are moving down and up. Well, relatively easy. The ribs in front and back actually have two parts. The lower ribs, the floating ribs in particular, open actually in both directions, both vertically and horizontally. So they open with the sides, but they also open to some extent with the chest and the back, which are having a very slight separation from the spine or the sternum and back. So in a way, this goes back to longevity breathing, or reverse breathing if you're doing it.
Right.
When we learned about longevity breathing, we learned that we were not breathing just into our dantian, but we were breathing there and into the sides and into at least 3 levels of the back and ultimately into the brain. So if you're managing to focus into all of those parts as you breathe, you will be moving the whole rib cage. And so it's a transition from simply being aware of breathing to opening and closing, which is, of course, a deeper level because it's energetic and not just the physical movement of the breath. I don't know, does that help?
It starts to. When doing the different levels that I was trying to practice and progress with the longevity breathing, and I was up to the rib cage and the back and all that. I was thinking about the expanding, opening and closing of it, but not necessarily what direction it was going. I was just thinking it was just kind of in and out, and
Yeah.
not really thinking directionally
Mm-hmm.
like we're starting to now with our recent conversation. So that's
Right.
the gap I'm trying to close. And also, so when we are doing the opening and closing with the ribs, open when you're talking about the sides, opening would be expanding up and closing down.
Actually, opening is with the sides, and the lower ribs is opening is down, and closing is up.
Okay.
And obviously, with the upper ribs, opening is separating away from the spine or the sternum, and closing is coming in.
Okay. That's what I was not remembering and not focusing on was upper versus lower. That's I think the missing part for what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I think when I first started the ribs, I was not. I mean, recently teaching it, I wasn't as clear as I should have been about that.
And what I did, what I took from our first couple of classes too, it's been a couple of weeks now, and I think I've lost some of the memory of all the specifics too. So I needed to have this refresher,
Sure.
especially as I said, just to the differentiating of the upper and lower. That's where I forgot that part.
Yeah.
And, on it. So this is better. And now I have it on our discussion here too. I can refer back to it also, which is good.
Yep.
Okay.
So do you have any other issues?
No, not any other specific ones. I mean, I'm still working on opening and closing as a whole and everything that we've been doing with that.
Yeah.
The needing more practice with it, quite honestly. So
As always.
yeah.
True for all of us. So I'm going to go another step here with the ribs,
Okay.
which may help or it may confuse, I suppose.
Well,
But
I'm always of the mindset that as much information as you can give us is good, and I can always ask for refreshers on some of it if need be.
absolutely. So I wanted to talk a bit about including bend the bow with the opening and closing of the ribs. And it's interesting in raising this issue in at least one other class, that I discovered that some people weren't really clear about what they were doing with bend the bow at this point, which is really pretty critical. And primarily it is that you have to think about the center of that movement being the middle of the spine. That the top and the bottom are both moving. And those bends really make a difference in how the ribs move. So, and will certainly will help to increase the awareness of opening and closing the energy in all the parts that we've had so far. Not to mention eventually the movement through the spine itself. So, does that kind of click with what you were doing with bend the bow?
I really wasn't focusing on it at all, to be honest. So maybe that's something we can work on today then. Maybe you can help me to do it properly. It's.
Sure.
I think I'm one of those people who could use the refresher on it then. As you mentioned, many people are not doing it. Well, I think I'm in that category.
Okay. So, we want to think about the movement beginning from the middle of the spine. So it flows up and down, and both the sacrum and the head and neck, doing a crane's neck, are extending in relationship to each other, not not too much. One thing I'm finding is going back to this, that a lot of people are doing too much with their neck and not remembering to do crane's neck. They're just bending the neck, which is not the same thing. So as you do bend the bow and shoot the arrow, clearly, I think clearly, you're bending both ends of the spine and then straightening through the entire spine. And I realized that some people had sort of gone back to the Taoist spine stretch instead of sticking with bend the bow. Because the Taoist spine stretch works from a straight sacrum
Right.
and bends all the way to the top, and then on the anterior side opens all the way from bottom to top. Totally different movement from bend the bow, and different purpose, extremely useful, but just we have to not confuse the two.
So bend the bow is really using one position as sort of a hinge
Yes, you could think of it that way.
versus slowly opening and closing each vertebrae. This one is just really working at one
Well,
or one position.
from the center position. So, if you're straight, one above the center and one below the center close a little,
Right.
and then another one above and below close together. So they're working together all the way through the spine.
Right. Okay.
And one of the difficult things about bend the bow is that as you are bending the bow, the energy is rising up the posterior side of the spine, just as it was in the Taoist spine stretch. And it's moving downward as you straighten again, but you're working to open from and close from a center point rather than from a base point.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you also please, since we're here, just review the correct position of the crane's neck?
Yes, and remember that's, I don't know if you remember this particular exercise, but one of the easy ways, to tell if you're doing it or not is simply to place your fist in your throat, and then just let your head bend at the neck. You're not worrying about the crane's neck. You just let the head bend, and you can begin to hear what it does to your voice. It's going to constrict what you're doing, and it's constricting the breathing. On the other hand, if you do the crane's neck, you are extending upward and bending forward and down. And that doesn't affect the breathing or the voice at all.
Right. Or the energy flow to the head.
Or the energy flow, yeah. That's the critical part.
I felt that right away.
Yeah.
When I changed it.
Yeah.
As soon as I did that, I felt it go right up.
Yep. And the thing is that if you don't maintain the proportion between the sacrum and the neck, then that gets in the way too. So that's the other piece that is somewhat difficult for some people. It may not be for you, I don't know. But the sacrum obviously cannot tuck a whole heck of a lot.
Right.
But the neck, even the crane's neck, can be a big movement. So the movement of crane's neck is larger than the sacrum, but it is in proportion to the range of movement of each of them.
Okay. That
Does
makes
that
sense.
make sense?
It
Okay.
makes sense. And it's, I mean, essentially, as you said, when we're doing this, we're mirroring an upper and lower vertebrae, the next upper and lower vertebrae, all the way down to the sacrum and the crane's neck, also mirroring each other.
Right.
Okay. Just making sure I understood what we are trying to
Yeah.
accomplish.
The other thing I will say is that one of the ways to do this and make sure you're doing it correctly is to stand with your spine against a wall,
Oh,
but not your heels. So if you think about it, when you're standing straight, your back is a little behind where your heels are, so you want to make sure you leave some space there.
right,
But
right.
but then as you go into your quafold doing bend the bow, you should be able to keep feeling that center part of the spine all the way down, however far you can go. And so initially, almost nobody goes very far
Right.
because lack of practice and maybe not strengthening the necessary muscles. So that's a good way to practice it.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
I'll give you a couple other things today too, just to
Yeah.
work with. So one of the things is that you really want to be aware of being able to coordinate the ribs with all the other parts that we've begun with. So they should all work together. They're not, while we have to practice some separate pieces, eventually it's all one piece, one movement, one energy. So, one of the ways to approach this for us in this class is to go back to the dynamic sphere, which gives us the opportunity to be aware of the opening and closing, and not worrying about the fact that the two sides are actually doing different things, which they are. Ultimately, you do want to be aware of that, but initially, you let yourself be really aware of the dominant side that's moving at that moment. So that is a movement that helps you begin to feel the rib movement, and also to not overdo it, which is also another aspect of this. You don't want to go to a point where you feel either stretched out or any sense of imbalance or insecurity. So whatever that range of motion is what that range of motion is. But at least the dynamic sphere gives you a large enough movement that you can really connect and feel what's going on there. And of course, bend the bow is a critical piece of that anyway. Matter of fact, at this stage, bend the bow is present in everything. There isn't anything we're working on that where bend the bow shouldn't be an integrated part. So
yeah, that's something then I will have to start thinking about again, because I have not been.
yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm going to suggest is that we do some dynamic sphere in a bow stance if you're comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to turn sideways to you. I should change my camera. Hold on a second here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. What I want to do is go down here. Ah, there we go.
There you go. That did it.
Okay. I'm stepping out. I might say, since we're really thinking about bend the bow, that as you're doing that step, you're bending as you go into the first movement, and then as you come into center, you're straightening. And then you have to bend the bow to begin the movement. And then go into your bow stance, David. So that continues as you go into your starting point. So bending the bow is present in everything. And of course, at this stage, it's bent. It's not straight, it's bent. And then it's straight as you open. And bent as you close. And then open. And close. And open. And close. And open. And close. And you can go right on with that. Letting yourself bend the bow, straighten and shoot the arrow, and bend, and straighten, and bend, and straighten, and bend. And of course, that coordinates with everything else. Twisting in, lengthening in, extending out, twisting out, lengthening in. All of the parts. And your spine is constantly moving. Do you have a question there, Jeff?
No, but this is definitely taking this dynamic sphere to the next level for me. Um, I could feel it's obvious. I've got to work on the coordination of it all for sure. But when I do, and I'm probably overdoing the motion of bending the bow at this point, but when I get it in sync sporadically through that, I could feel it feels really good. It feels like a strong pumping of energy.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's just, I think, a matter of me working on it now, knowing what we're trying to do and coordinating all the things, or at least most of the things you just mentioned, to try and get that extra benefit of the bend and bow.
Yeah.
I could feel it when it was hitting, but it's just.
So the good thing about doing it in the dynamic sphere is that exactly that it is a little easier than some other movements to feel. So it's in order to be aware of what you're trying to do. That's really good. Now, one of the exercises to do to to refine it and to eventually deepen your ability to be aware of it is to do it in a more restrained position. So this is going into this position, and the hands are in towards the center. You're keeping the armpits open, and then there's not a lot of movement here in the arms, but you're bending and straightening, closing and opening. And you can feel everything working here, and this is a good place to really feel the ribs working very subtly and connect it to the hands and the wrists and the elbows and the shoulders. So that's another really good exercise, but it's another step. And you may
As you're
want
doing that specific exercise there, David, are you also coordinating your longevity breath in and out with everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because that's what it felt right to do that. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's ultimately you don't need to, but it's much easier at this stage.
Yeah, I definitely need to. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't counterproductive by doing it.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah, that felt good. That felt very good.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's such a simple movement
Yep.
that you don't think it's going to do much, but it does
Yeah.
quite a
Really
bit.
good.
Okay, good. So, do you have other questions?
On all of this, no, I'm understanding it far better, and the additional stuff you've given us today is really, I can work on the dynamic sphere, and I can do this exercise, and I think I will start to get it more as I do those things, because I could feel bits already. So I just need
Good.
to work on that a bit. Maybe focus on that stuff this week rather than form or 8 gates.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not going to try to introduce this
No, not for a while.
for a while. Exactly. So, no need to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the simplified repetition of those two things, the dynamic sphere and whatever you call this exercise, are good.
I don't. I don't have a name for it. I just think of it as the bend the bow exercise.
That covers it.
What I would like is for just for a minute, if you would turn sideways to the camera
Okay.
and do that last exercise, because that allows me to really see what you're doing with bend the bow.
Is that a good angle for you?
Yeah, I think that's fine. So your sacrum should not go back. It should go forward. Ah,
It's going forward right now.
yep,
Back now.
straight. Yeah,
Back to straight. Yes. It's never going back. It's going back to straight and now forward.
that's good.
And now back to straight.
Yep, yep, good.
And I'm trying to get my crane's neck proper as well.
Yeah, you're not overdoing it, that's for sure. You might experiment with the neck movement a little and see if a little bit more feels good or not.
A little bit more as far as forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
I'm
felt
trying to
kind
get
of like you were really holding on to your neck.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. That's exactly what I was trying to get to, was a point where it was relaxed and not being held muscularly.
Yeah.
I was letting the skeleton do the work, and I have to get to that point.
Yep, yep, good. This is a good one to do against the wall.
So against the wall, basically the sacrum area stays against the wall, and the rest of it is bending away.
Actually, yeah, it starts with the sacrum against the wall, but then the sacrum moves away from it,
Yeah. Okay.
and the center of the back stays touching. And you want your hands in the center. Yep. That looks pretty good, Jeff, as much as I can tell on Zoom.
Yeah, the last couple repetitions were feeling more in sync, but
Yeah.
I understand what I'm trying to do now, because I would have left this part against the wall, but this part I need to leave against the wall.
Yep.
That was the key to it, so I can practice that now, knowing that that is. It
Yeah.
felt pretty good when I was letting that the hinge part stay against the wall.
It's amazing when you find that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is good stuff.
Good.
I'm
Good.
feeling what we want to get to, but in little spurts. But I know if I keep practicing and coordinating, it'll feel really good.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
So, you have any form questions?
Did I have any form question? I did a flow this morning. I'm trying to remember if I had anything. I'm still working on the coordination of the two different points where our hands are coming in and this, one with the kicks and the other with gargoyles. I'm
Yeah,
still working on those areas. I know what we're supposed to be doing, but it's still
yeah,
a bit awkward, the rotation and the in and out at the same time.
yeah. It's um, it's really important to really allow your the rotation of your dantian to move the arms,
Hmm. Okay.
because if you focus on the arms, then you know that's not what you want to do.
Right. It's all the movement is coming from there, but you're right. I probably have been thinking too much about the arms. Although I know my dantian is moving as my whole body moves, but
Yeah,
I'm not making the I'm thinking too much about what the arms are doing to keep the connection to my dantian as the main part of it. That's actually good. Good
yeah,
observation.
yeah. Because those movements, they're it's the rotation of the body that moves them into position.
Right.
It's not the movement of the arm,
Right. Um,
and that's
yeah.
and that's a development. You don't start there. You through practice get to a point where you do that.
Mm.
You don't.
Yeah, in gargoyles in particular, there's a lot of rotation to get everything coordinated into that throughout that movement.
Yeah, subdued tiger and gargoyles um, have a have that kind of S rotation into it,
Mm,
each one.
yeah.
So and the nice thing is that the first rotation is a twisting in, and the second rotation is the twisting out.
Mm,
So there is that coordination in there, that um, the twisting and the bending and lengthening are all working together, and they coordinate with the movement of the dantian,
mm, yep.
which is also opening and closing.
Right.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to do a flow and you can see if you pick up on anything that
Sure,
I could
sure.
use? Okay.
Yeah, they look pretty good, Jeff. Um, I, my feeling was that it all looked like a work in progress.
Mhm.
um, and I'm not sure I really want to insert anything else at the moment because it seems like you're really beginning to get some of those places together.
Okay.
Um, your wave hands was quite good, I thought. It was. I felt you didn't let pauses develop there.
Mhm.
Um, um, Offering incense, you have to remember. I did feel there that um, you were not opening as you sank down.
Oh, okay.
That's the energy's going out there, not.
Right.
Um, it may be going out in the sense of down, but it's not. You're not going. You're not pulling the energy into you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's really coming nicely. Your balance is much better than mine now.
Well, you got a few years on me too, David.
Just a few.
Okay.
Um, and so those looked good.
Okay.
Um, don't rush the end of Subdue Tiger into the kick.
Okay.
The first one seemed better than the second one. Um,
Yeah.
so, so you want to complete that and then go into the kick. It sort of felt like the the end of Subdued Tiger and the beginning of the kick overlapped each other.
Yep. On the second one in particular,
On the
I
second one in particular.
facing that way. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. I know what you mean.
Yep. Good. I don't.
Okay.
You're doing well.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Particularly since you don't have much practice time.
Yeah. Hopefully that will continue to improve over time.
I'm sure it will, Jeff. I'm
Yep.
sure it will.
All right. Well, thank you, David. I'm fine here.
Good.
Uh, this great class. I appreciate it very
Yep.
much.
Have a good week,
Yeah. Thank you. You too.
and wish Jesse happy school.
I will do that. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay,
Take care.
Take care, David. Thanks.
Bye bye.